Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Manor Lords Season 3. Now there's been a new update, so obviously, thankfully we finished Season 2 by defeating the enemy lord, but we are diving in. This time we are Amleth, Prince of Denmark, which is why my coat of arms very much resembles the Danish flag. So we are going to dive in. We are going to pick a default and we're going to continue with maybe restoring the peace, I think, or we could go with on the edge, but I don't really want to do that yet. That's a little bit too difficult. We're going to go here. We are going to boost our rate of free years to 3. We're going to have the rate of frequency at none. No, we'll have them at medium. Initial bandit camps, we don't want any, and the random bandit camp spawn limit we'll put up to 5. So we can have a load of bandit camps in there. That should be pretty good. We'll keep the AI opponent on, and we will reduce him down to being reactive. Again, I don't want too much of an issue happening here. We'll keep everything on. Our royal tax will remain at normal because I like the challenge of that. Our approval will have a medium penalty on growth. These are all new. Underground water I want to leave on. Weather events I want to be balanced. Food spoilage is going to be standard. Balanced residential requirements, we could put demanding or tolerant on, but we leave it as balanced. Armament delivery, yes, we'll keep that on because that gives us a nice little boost, and I think we are good to go. Domination is the end goal by claiming the territory of our enemy lord, and we'll begin. So last time I cycled through maps a few times to see if I could get one that was really useful, but today, as we start a new season, because there's a lot more resources to play around with, that idea is kind of off the table, so I don't know what I'm going to be getting, which means we're going to have to figure out a few things. I've got a whole host of new tips for this series, so we're going to dive in and spend our first half hour. Oh, my voice went. We're going to spend our first half hour setting things up in our usual way, and I'm going to try a few things that I've picked up by reading forums and other things. So the first thing I want to talk about is our marketplace, which I'm going to get into very soon. Now, the marketplace works that the people who are closest to the marketplace will get their resources first, which is great. But last time we had some major issues with our marketplace, and I don't know why that was. So we're going to try and get a handle on that. You will also notice that the game is a little bit buggy on first start, but we are now sorted. Right, we're going to pause things. We have a new message to read. We've got to build up our town, our manor, and when ready, press claims towards regions, blah, blah, blah. We already know this. So coming in, we've got a wild animal deposit, which is pretty rich, and we've got a rich deposit of iron there. We've also got some wild berries, clay, stone, but there's no salt here. Now salt and shoals of fish are pretty important now. So if we just have a quick look, we've got shoals of fish here. Now fishing is the brand new industry and is very useful apparently, as well as salt. Fish acts as a secondary source of food income, which is really good. Salt you can actually combine with meat to create sausages, another food source. So if we have a look at our food tab here, it has now got new stuff in. We've got fish, we've still got honey, apples, eggs, bread, berries, veggies, and meat, but we've also been given sausages as an addition as well. Fuel remains the same, crops remain the same. Crafting materials, you can now see right at the bottom there, we have salt. Then we've got all of our usual stuff coming through here, but also, of course, crossbows, which is a brand new unit that we can put in place. But to begin with, everything starts very, very small. So let's get into it. The first thing we need to do is exploit that wild animal deposit that Svayao has, which obviously means our first set of unlockables is going to be focused on trapping and probably advanced skinning, because this is going to allow us to produce more meat from our hunters, butchers, and our animal pen, which is a backyard extension. So that's going to be our target for that. I'm not really going to be bothering with pelt extraction though. Then let's just have a quick look at the fertility rating here. So Emma fertility is okay over in that area there. Flax is terrible and barley not so good either. There's a little patch there that we can exploit, but for now I think Emma is going to be the best bet, which means this area here is going to need to be deforested. So my logging camp, the initial logging camp, is going to go down here on this road. If I just bring up again that Emma fertility rating, you can see it has a little bit of space there. So I think what I'm going to do is my logging camp is going to go right here. We're going to rotate it around to there. That works, and it's going to go right in there. Then if we just have a quick look at our Emma fertility again, you can see I've just got it on the edge of that. Next, we put our road in coming out here and get that put in place. Great. Now, there's quite a distance between my main settlement, or where it's going to be, and the actual starting point for our village. So I'm going to run a road out here to where I kind of want my hunting cabin to be. We're going to put our hunting cabin right on the outskirts here of the hunting area, and we're just going to run the road along here and stop it there. So this area here, this is the King's Road, so we obviously can't delete that, but that's going to form a part where I place my first marketplace. I'm going to run a road down here to there, and then we've got that little area there that's cut off for our first market. And if I just put these plot points in here, you can see it goes to here, and we get about 20. Oh, that takes us up to 43 stalls there, which is a nice little space for us to begin our market. Obviously, that's going to fill up gradually. Now, over here, we're going to put in a woodcutter's lodge. We've got our firewood, our trees getting chopped down here, so why not put a woodcutter there, and then we can put our saw pit right there as well. Of course, these things, we're just going to pause the construction on them, like that, and we leave the logging camp ready to go because we do need that. We can have the marketplace set up as well, and then our hunting camp is just going to go right here on the outskirts, and that is going to be built immediately because that's going to be our first source of food. Berries and fisherman's hut we can't really bother with right now. You can see the berries are right the way over there, so it's not really worth the time and effort it would take to get them done. And of course, the final thing we need to do is get our granary up and running. Now I'm going to put the granary kind of here, bearing in mind that we do want to put some farms in this space here. So our granary is going to have to go kind of there, and our storehouse is going to go there as well. Obviously, we need to wait for our granary to be constructed, but also we've got to wait for that logging camp to go up. And the last thing we actually want to do is move that hitching post right into the center of town. Now I'm going to put the hitching post here because this is kind of where I want to be putting my trader and my tavern and stuff. And then we're going to have some houses going behind that space. So let's speed things up. We'll get our city underway, and you can see right here immediately, people are moving. We can get the granary constructed. Once that's up and running, and once the logging camp is working, we can actually get some more timber and build our storehouse, so everything will get moved in very quickly. To begin with, though, oh, hello there. This, of course, is Baron von Hildebolt. We're going to end the conversation with him. I've got no interest in speaking to him right now because I've got things to do. So you can see here, we will run out of food soon enough. We don't have any fuel consumption at the moment because people don't have houses, so that's okay. Once this is built, our logging camp is going to be the very high priority building. The granary shouldn't take too long. And then we can get people moved into houses as soon as we've got some timber being brought in. Over here, the hunting camp is going to be our second one. Logging camp is now up and running, so I'm going to get someone in there. We're going to go to advanced. We're going to change our work area to this space here, and we're going to get all of these trees in this area cut down so we can have a look at our Emma fertility and perhaps start setting up some small wheat farms. Now, obviously, it's going to be a very small farm, but it is going to allow us to bring in some bread. And I guess my main aim then is going to be to press claims towards Waldbrand, maybe, get that central region taken because they've got some salt, they've got stone, a big, rich shoal of fish, wild animals, and clay. The rich clay deposit will be really useful. We do have a rich iron deposit here, which we can make use of, and that's going to bring us in some really nice money in the early game. Our hunting camp is now up and running, so we can put someone to work there and have them work in the area where our deer are. And then over here, again, the hitching post has now been moved and we are starting to bring in some timber. The granary is up and running, so I'm going to have one person go to work in the granary for now, and they can bring in the supplies from that area there. We are running out of food, but that should not take long to be sorted now that the hunting camp is up and running, and we do have somebody working in that. You can see they've brought in some meat already. And then over at our logging camp, we continue to bring in some timber, which is great. So get our storehouse in now. We have enough timber to do that. And then I'm just going to road this off so that I know that I can't come back in here for any more stuff. Last thing we need to do actually is have a look at our underground water. And you can see there's not a great deal of it over here. So our well is going to be a little bit further away than where we would like it to be. But we can run a road up here, just off the main track, and that is going to kind of go out towards that iron mine when we finally put that in place, and then we can start building our first lot of housing in this space here. But the well is going to be important, so we're going to put that in now. We'll put it right there, and then we can start putting in some housing down in this space. Excellent. Right, okay, so we can put our first houses in this area here, but I might actually just run them across here so that they are close to the marketplace. And then we'll come up in this area all the way along. Now, I don't want to do that yet. So, because of the angle of that, I'm going to just have some a small area here that comes up to this space. We'll actually run it all the way up to there. And then we can come along here, try and straighten it out a little bit. And then our next set of houses is going to be a little bit more of an easy ride, I think. So if we have a look when we're coming across here and then up to here, right the way to there, then we'll come across. Now you can see where it's relatively straight is this area here where it starts to straighten up. So what I want to try and do is just come up here. We're going to go to here and to here. That's good. Right, so what we'll do, we'll come along this area, we'll come up to here and along here. Now you can see we get the backyard extensions, which is exactly what we're hoping for. And then we'll just pause, we'll drop these down. Each one now has space for the expansion. And then up to here, we will build another set of houses along here. And we'll start it here. I think if we start it here, that should be good. And we'll come along to here and along the back, up to here, and then we can cut it all the way across. Now, I don't want it to make new houses there. That's the thing. So I guess we have to go along this area here, up to the back, and then across there. Like so. Now, if we can just reduce that down to 1, it will have a massive front garden, but that will also give us a really large vegetable patch, which we can actually start using to grow veggies in and sustain our settlement very nicely. So that's what we'll do. And then we now have constructed our first little plots of housing. Right, we'll speed things up because this shouldn't take too long to get underway, and then we can actually get our woodcutter's lodge construction unpaused, so that should come up, and the saw pit as well. Great, so once people have moved in, we'll be in a strong position to begin doing our next set of expansion. If we have a look here, our meat is coming in pretty nicely, and we just need to get 5 burgage plots built, and that takes us to our first level. You can see now that food is starting to come in quite nicely. We've got plenty of people at work. The storehouse, however, does need another person working in it, so we can move all of these supplies, which are over here. The stone, the firewood, they need to be moved away so they don't get wet. Our homeless people's tents should clear up pretty quickly, and that's really good. So the next thing I want to do with our granary here, we're going to clear the work area for that so that they can start getting food from everywhere. And then over here at the storehouse, we'll eventually clear the work area for that as well. We're not far from people being able to actually move into houses, so that's good. And here we'll just clear the work area for that space. And now hopefully we'll get our burgage plots up and running. Currently we have a firewood stall and a food stall in the marketplace, but it doesn't have much going on there. We are going to, I think maybe we could build another hitching post now. And we'll build that down here next to our woodcutter's lodge. So the logging camp's doing pretty well. Then this hitching post, once it's built, we'll spend our first lot of regional wealth to bring in a second ox, which will help with a lot of stuff. Next, we're going to get trade. Our trading post is going to be really important, and that does just fit on the edge of our first set of housing. So I'm going to queue that up and pause it. And then again, we're going to come in with our tavern, because this is the next important building that we're going to put in here. And we're going to put the tavern right on the corner. I like to have them in kind of like a city centre location. But what I'll do is I'll run this road up here, because this is probably where I'm going to have a few more houses. So we'll do that, and then we'll put the tavern on the corner of that building there. Yeah, that's looking good. The tavern, we can now pause the construction on that. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. Once that hitching post is constructed, obviously we've got these burgage plots to come in. So what I'm going to do is, oh, we can't. They've got a shop now. Right, who's running that food stall then? If not this person in the granary. We'll dump them out of there. We'll dump them out of there. Those stalls will eventually get abandoned. I don't know who it is that's running that one. Where are you? The hunter is running that. So our hunter, we don't want them to have a market stall. We just want the granary to have a market stall. So we'll add another worker into that and another worker into the storehouse again. And they should take on these abandoned stalls. Has that worked? Doesn't look like it. Now, this guy still has... I'll unassign him. He'll abandon the stall and then he'll come back. There we go. That food stall's abandoned. We'll demolish that. And this firewood stall we'll demolish as well. Now, I think it's because of the woodcutter that we've got that going. But we'll check it out anyway. There we go. We've now got people moving into burgage plots, which means I can show you my first little tip that I've picked up. So, over here we can select people. Now, this woodcutter here, we can show their workplace or we can reassign them to a different workplace. So, I'm going to reassign them to the logging camp. And that then does that successfully. Over here, this person currently is a hunter. Now, I don't want my hunter over, like, running away all the way over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a very small burgage plot here. Actually, it doesn't need to be a small one. We can put in quite a large burgage plot here. We'll reduce it in size so that it goes down to, let's have it at 2. Then they can now be vegetable plots, and we will be able to have some workers come in here that will work solely in the hunting camp. Now this one, we can have 2 in there, so we could also put in a secondary hunting camp, because these wild animals, the deposits are huge. First things first then, let's get trapping, which gives us the passive income of meat. Brilliant. Now, fuel is an issue, so unless we get that woodcutter's hut up, we're not going to have a good time. We're not going to allow them to set up a marketplace. And then over here, these burgage plots, we are going to have the people working here. You can see they work in the warehouse, so it's a very short commute for them. Over here, these people work in the granary, so again, a short commute for them. But we can continue by expanding these. You can see now the homelessness is going. Food and fuel is still pretty good. And over here, this hunter, we're now going to be able to reassign them and maybe have them work in some other area. We're going to expand the living space here. And we're going to expand the living space here. And here. Now, a woodcutter lives there. That's great. They're going to go down and work in the logging camp. And then I think this burgage plot here, and the person living in here, is going to end up being our new woodcutter, as in somebody who chops wood for firewood. Now, the saw pit, we can then start adding extra families who move into these houses. We can give them jobs in this area, so it's less for them to walk to. Now, you'll also notice, actually, we're going to demolish those burgage plots, and we'll demolish this one. What I want to do is I'm going to build them facing the opposite direction. One thing I have learned is that sometimes it's better to have your burgage plots facing the marketplace. So we're going to build these burgage plots here. We're going to reduce them in size to the point where we can actually... Ooh, we don't have enough timber for that. So we'll leave that as it is. We'll let some timber gather. We'll speed things up. Hopefully all of these builds will finish. And you can see here, we are now probably ready to build our church. So let's get that built. We need 5 timber and 20 planks. Right, so it's going to take a bit more time. But we can get someone working in the saw pit in the meantime. Once we have our church up and running, we'll be happy-go-lucky and things will be going really well, I think. So our Woodcutter's Lodge we have currently at the highest priority, but because people are working and it's a slow process. We've got these burgage plots that people are wanting to expand into, so we can't do that. Do we have now our second hitching post? No, because that's not been constructed yet. So you can see the logging camp and all of this is very slow going, but it shouldn't take us too long. Once these burgage plots have been expanded, that's probably my fault. I maybe should have held off on that, but we can have things like the chicken coop up and running, or we can get animal pens. So the animal pens and the construction of them has changed a little bit. So here you can see it costs 2 planks to build an animal pen, and then we spend our regional wealth on either pigs or goats. Now the goats will produce 1 unit of hide and 1 unit of meat, and the pigs will produce 2 units of meat. So you get quite a bit as long as you are pumping out regular stuff. The firewood, however, coming to August, it's a big issue that we've not yet got this woodcutter's lodge built. We seem to have focused a lot on the burgage plot completion rather than anything else. And that is a little bit worrying because we are approaching winter and we need to get this sorted. So maybe I got a bit overeager with things, but that's okay. We can get stuff sorted. It's not a problem. Once we get the church built, we can then start looking at how we can improve the settlement a little bit further. Now, I think I'm going to put my church right on the corner here, or maybe just across the way from there. I think that's going to be a good space for it. You've got a bandit camp coming up. It is over in Eichenau, so it's not too much of a worry for us at this moment in time. Hopefully, we'll get things sorted and get stuff built up very quickly so we can get started on gathering some taxes and regional wealth. And obviously, we are going to need to have our manor built for that. But for now, not too worried. We do have not enough supplies, so we definitely need to get some firewood. Which means we need to finish this woodcutter's lodge. It looks like, there we go, it is done now. Right, so I'll quickly pause. Now this hunter is going to be reassigned to the woodcutter's lodge. They have now been reassigned successfully, which means they're going to walk over there and do that. Now food could be a problem at this moment in time. Especially considering, so where's our logging camp? How are we doing? We've got plenty of timber. So we're going to find the people here and we're going to reassign them to nothing. They're going to go and work in the saw pit once it's been constructed. We'll get that to the highest priority. We'll speed it up. We're going to get firewood coming in now, which is great. That's all we asked for. And people now doing this manual assignment, it's making things a lot easier. So currently, our hunter, we don't actually have one. If we go over to our hunting camp, you can see nobody's assigned to it. So we need to hope that our meat will last. But that's going to give the wild animals a chance to repopulate in there. And once we've got people, I think this burgage plot here, if somebody moves into that, that's going to be fine for so this one is an unassigned worker. And until we get some growth, we're not going to be able to assign anyone to that. But we now do have 20 planks. So we're going to remove them and they're going to be a free floater for now. We can now build our wooden church, which I'm going to build probably here across the road from our trading post. I think that's a nice place for it. And there's a hitching post that will be upgraded to a stable right next to it. In fact, let's upgrade that now while we have the planks. And we'll also upgrade this one. Having the planks just makes it a lot quicker. Our saw pit is now out of action. And we now have 2 families working on building the church. So over here, this burgage plot here, we have a firewood cutter. And this one, we have unassigned family, but they will eventually work in the logging camp or the saw pit. Then here we have granary workers and warehouse workers. This one, which nobody lives in right now, we are going to build our first vegetable garden on it and hope that somebody moves into that soon. And they are also going to work as a hunter. So you can see this is a fairly sizable burgage plot with a nice road running all the way up it. I'm not so sure about this weird little plot here, but that will do for now. We can then start looking to build our extra bits and pieces with the animal pen. Currently, planks are a bit of an issue because we've put them all into building the wooden church, which are going to boost to the highest possible priority. Bandits have come and stolen some firewood from us, but as you can see, the firewood is not too much of a problem. We're making quite a bit of that at the moment, and given that we have quite a low population, that shouldn't take too long. So, just having a look at our development points, what I want to do is I want to move into advanced skinning. I think that's going to be the best thing for us to do. And yeah, looking really good now. We do need to get some level 2 burgage plots, and for that we are going to need to build a industry and a tannery. So our tannery is going to go next to our hunting cabin, which means the houses here are hopefully going to start working in the hunting cabin and the tannery. And if we can get a few more built on this side of town, that's going to be good as well. So here, as you can see, 4 timber's not great. So we're probably going to have to put someone to work in the logging camp, which we can't do until the church is built. But it has now been built, and our approval rating is starting to creep up, which is good. We have plenty of water access. We've got church. Food, we just need to have some different types of food, and we can't get that at this moment in time. But once we've got vegetables, people will have access to different types of food. Over here, though, we could actually just go with a chicken coop here, and that will hopefully give us some more food. Now, these burgage plots, I have tested, and I'm not sure if this is correct, but I seem to only be getting one egg regardless of whether they've got one or two families in, which is unfortunate. We are going to assign this family to the logging camp, get some more wood coming in, and then we can switch them out, have them go to the saw pit. But things are looking really nice. Once we get some eggs from this area, though, we should be able to keep pushing that. I'm going to now, maybe we could get the trading post up and running next. That would be useful. Meat, let's have a quick look over at the hunting camp. Yeah, we're not in a period of growth right now, but our approval rating should now hit 50%. There we go. That gives us low population growth, which means hopefully somebody's going to move into one of these burgage plots. It might well be this one. There it is. No, that's not it. Right, we currently have an unassigned family. But this is the person that I want to assign to our hunting cabin. As soon as we get some people moving in, though, I'll be able to do that and then have one person free to continue the builds that we've got. We're going to boost the trading post up to highest priority. The tannery is now up and running as well. So ideally, getting some people coming in to live in the city is going to be our best bet for the future. Firewood's looking really good. We've definitely got enough to last the winter. The meat issue is starting to become a little bit problematic. You can see as we move into the winter months, we've got loads of wild animals there. We don't have any eggs yet, but we should get some from here very soon. And I'm just hoping this population growth starts to kick in very, very soon. Meat is dwindling. That's a problem. But I think we can survive our first winter. If we can get somebody moving in, which we should get at the end of December, we can then immediately get them working and get them hunting meat again. It shouldn't take us long to build up the food stores. Things are stored quite nicely. I'm pretty happy at this moment in time. It's been a good start. We have our 5 burgage plots that have all been upgraded to house 10 families. We just need to get that approval rating steady and people will start moving in. And then over here, our saw pit, you know, we've got our logging camp, we've got our woodcutter's lodge. We do need, and probably could do with very soon, a forester's hut so that we can start reforesting the area that we're cutting back. Although here, obviously, like I said, this is going to be our Emma area, so we're going to need to have that cleared soon anyway. And that'll give us a really nice way to sign off this episode. Hopefully we get our first people moving in. We've got loads of fuel. We've got 22 months worth of fuel. So I'm going to take that family away from the woodcutter's lodge and we'll put them into the saw pit. What we want to do is we want to set a production limit on planks. We want to leave the limit at 20. I think that's good. And our timber limit we're going to set at, let's say, at 10. So I don't want to overuse my timber because I am going to need it. And then this burgage plot here, you can see somebody has just moved in. We are going to assign a family to the saw pit there. And then I think people here, we've got one unassigned family there. So we'll put them in the logging camp as well. Actually, no, I don't want them in the logging camp. We will take them away and we'll assign them to the storehouse. Then the family that's currently assigned to the storehouse, we are going to assign to nothing. Actually, we're going to leave that. So who have they got now? They're still a warehouse worker. Over here, we do have people living in here. They are unassigned. We're going to assign them to the hunting camp. That's going to start getting our food back up. And then this one who's a warehouse worker, actually this one who's a warehouse worker, we are going to have them floating. So where's our storehouse? We'll take them off. Now they should just be unassigned. Great. So we've got one unassigned settler. They're now going to go in and start grabbing meat. Our tannery is the next job for us. So if we can get another person moving in, we're going to be sitting pretty, really. Good. Right, not enough supplies. What are we short on? food. But that's okay. We're getting eggs coming in now as well. Eggs and meat. And we can actually get this. This is now unpaused. Great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that everything is built up, and I think we can probably upgrade some burgage plots soon enough. We've got another person there moving in, and I think they are here, a woodcutter and an unassigned. We'll assign them to the granary. Then this granary worker here, we will assign them to the tannery, and then they'll start producing the leather that we need. Now, the last thing I want to do is build some more burgage plots along this area here. And they are all going to be farms. We'll have them run along here, actually. Up to this space here, and then all the way around to there. We'll reduce these in size so that we get the doubles. And then they can all be small vegetable patches, I think. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be enough to produce a nice amount of veggies. They're going to be relatively facing the marketplace, and then that's going to sort out all of our food moving forward. So our food is going to consist mainly of eggs, meat, and vegetables. Obviously here, we're going to probably want to put in a few more chicken coops along this area. Here's going to be a nice big vegetable garden, and then we'll put some more chicken coops running up this space as well, and that should give us a decent amount of food income. Another bandit camp has appeared on the map, but you can see now as we ride out the first winter coming into March, we're looking really nice. Once these are constructed and we can then get our trading post up and running, I can start reassigning some of the families in this space and this space here. So this lot will probably work in the hunters camp, the tannery, the storehouse, the granary, and then these lot will start working within the trading post, the saw pit, the lumber mills, and all of that sort of stuff. And then we can build a little farming area that comes around here, have some more burgage plots there, and continue to expand. So here you can see our food. We just need a little bit more variation on that, and we'll probably get that when the harvest hits, unless one of this lot picks up some eggs. There's one. We can upgrade that to level 2. Now we just need one more to get some eggs, and we will get another one up to level 2, which is actually very, very good for us. We can hit the next milestone and get advanced skinning. We'll be able to double up our hunters camps and get some more people working in that space, which will be a really good finish. Still waiting for someone to come and pick something up though, but there's not a lot we can do about that. We'll just keep speeding things through. Eggs are hard to come by. They're only generating once a month. We're not getting a great deal of them. But I'm very happy with how things are going. These burgage plots are about to be completed, so we can immediately start expanding the living spaces there. We'll do the same all the way through, so that once they're constructed, we'll be able to bring in some more citizens. And here, hopefully, we just need another egg. Can I offer you an egg in this trying time? Yes, you certainly can. Please do. Or veggies. But we're way off harvest season, so we're not going to get that. Another ruler's army has been sighted, but that will just be the enemy baron clearing some nasty bandits out. Okay, we have yet to get another egg. So I'm starting to realize that the eggs is not the best idea in terms of production and stuff. This has been a long episode, can I just add? A long first episode of season 3, but it is worth it. Because if we can get this upgrade done, we can get ourselves to level 2, I think we'll be in a very good position moving forward. Oh, also, that's what I meant to say. Our small stable, we haven't even ordered another ox yet, so we are going to need to start trading some stuff. So we are going to export some firewood to begin with. Firewood is located in crafting for some strange reason. We're going to export, but we want to keep a surplus of 50 in just to make sure that we can survive anything that gets thrown at us. Now we have a granary worker and a woodcutter there, and we have a carpenter and one unassigned worker there. We're going to assign them to the trading post, and they will immediately start selling some goods for us. Then our last thing before we finish up is going to be, hopefully, upgrading a final house. The food situation's a little bit dire. We do need to make sure that we're on top of that, and I am a bit worried about it, but as long as people are continuing to move in, we will eventually top out on that. And these families that are working here, including the unassigned one, are going to be able to really get that harvest sorted when it comes to the autumn months, where we are harvesting, ploughing and sowing crops. You can see here, they're not filling up a great deal of that. If we look at the size of the burgage plot compared to how much harvesting they're doing, that's okay though. So our trading post is up and running. We've got 17 regional wealth now, which is great. And if we can just get one extra egg, there we go. So hopefully somebody's going to come and grab this. And that'll be our food stalls sorted. Somebody has. Who is it? Who's the lucky one? Who's going to get an upgrade? And nobody. Was it the person living there? That would be unfortunate, wouldn't it? Or is it one of this lot? Certainly not you. That might have been taken by somebody who lives in this house. Which really doesn't help. Not great. But I think we'll leave it there. So, Manor Lords Season 3 kicks off. And we've already started building in Zviao. Things are looking pretty good. It's been a decent start. And I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see how we get on next time when we come back for another episode of Manor Lords. Thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you again. Bye-bye.